So this is just a quick video showing you how to install the taxidermy holster in an existing mount. It doesn't matter if it's a buck you killed last year or one your granddad killed 40 years ago, you can install it in pretty much all of them. We'll just get started and we'll talk you through it as we go. So there'll be a template included with your packaging for the dimensions to cut your hole. So depending on the form manufacturer, some of them already have a hole in the backing, some don't. If they don't, I just start with a hole saw and start me a hole right there, and then I'll start cutting that with my jigsaw. But in this case, here I'll just start with jigsawing around my template there. And you see I got outside my line there. I don't worry about that too much. As long as my opening is big enough, it doesn't matter if I got outside my line slightly with my jigsaw, because this flange is going to cover all that. So from here I'll just get my screwdriver. And sometimes you have to move it around a little bit to find the best bite. And it'll just pop out. Now we can start carving out that foam. And once we install the box, you will be able to see the bottom of this hole, but I mean, that hole was back there before you started. So in this case, some of them, these are in different locations, so sometimes you can't avoid that. So at this point we're going to carve out our foam, and I use a spade bit or a paddle bit. This is a 6-inch bit. The box is about 8.5 inches long. So I'll try to get it in there as much as I can, and then the rest of it I'll kind of finish it out with, this is just a carving knife from the kitchen. I like to do this over a garbage can because this stuff does get kind of messy, so I can just rake it right out into my garbage can. So see there, we've gotten the majority of the barrel end of the hole carved out, and the bottom end where the bottom third of it isn't as deep, so we don't need to go quite as deep. We'll just go about 4 inches. Once we've got our box installed, you won't be able to see any of this. So it doesn't have to be perfect, it doesn't have to be pretty, which we will clean it up quite a bit, square everything up, and make it look a lot better before we install the box. now we'll just take our tape measure. Like I said, the box is about 8.5 inches. So now we're at 7.5. So we're getting pretty close. So we'll just take our drill and just kind of turn it sideways at different angles. And you can get a lot of that. I'd rather use a bit that's too short than too long, because that way I don't have to worry about coming out the other side and going through my cape. So I just kind of rough it in with my drill, and don't want to overdo it, but I'm not too concerned about it either, because I've still got a long way. I've still got 3 inches or so from coming out the cape. So, but I try to get the, rough it in with my drill, and then once I feel like I'm getting pretty close, and every now and then I'll check my depth, and I know we're pretty close now. See, we're about 8 inches, and that's about as deep as my drill bit's going to go. So the rest I'll just kind of shave and work out with my carving knife. You can just kind of get it in there and just pop it, and it'll just pop little chunks out. Just put your knife in there, and just kind of turn it, pop chunks out. And you can just kind of carve and just cut and pop, and big chunks of it will pop out at a time. And then when I feel like I've gotten pretty close, which I don't think we are quite there yet, but what I'll do is I'll take my box and I'll put it in, and I'll see I'm close, but I'm still got just a little bit more to cut out. But I'll just kind of press on it, and then I take it out and I look at it, and I can see where it's hitting. So it's hitting on the bottom and this left side. And that's really about it. So let me just whittle a little bit more out of there, and she should slip right in. Okay, so we've got our hole made and ready to install the box and everything, but I wanted to share one more tip with you. This deer we haven't had any trouble with. It's a semi-sneak, but sometimes I have run into where you have an upright with a hard right-hand turn or hard left-hand turn. Sometimes you start kind of getting close in the brisket area, so it's always good to, before you start, put your box up against him and just kind of look at it and get you an idea where you want to place the box. On one that doesn't have a lot of brisket room, you can, which that's the bracket from the taxidermist, but you can take that bracket out, and then you can put your box, 3 or 4 inches higher, give you a lot more room. That's just a little tip. All right, so now we got everything installed, and all we got to do is put our hinge on and put him on the wall. All right, so we're going to install our hinge bracket, and if this deer is a left-hand turn, so we want to put it on the left side, and then we want to put this pipe side to the outside. Put the bracket closest to the box there. All right, now we'll go in there and put him on the wall. Okay, so just a little tip I want to share with you. So we're installing this on a semi-sneak left-hand turn pose, right? So we want, when we mounted our bracket on our form on the left side of the box, so we want it to swing away to the left. And what I did here is I put my bracket on the wall, but I put it on upside down. So see, it doesn't want to go all, it doesn't have the range of motion it needs. So all that is a matter of flipping that upside down, turning that over. So by turning our bracket over, it sits against the wall this way, but as we go this way, it's got full range of motion. This also ensures that it sits flush against the wall. So now, by just flipping that hinge over, it made a lot of difference in how it sits against the wall flush and also how it swings away. So now it's sitting against the wall flush, you can't even tell anything's back there, and it swings away from the wall a lot easier. Then all you got to do, put your prized possessions in there, cover it up, nobody will ever know it's there.